bank deposits, and your Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, spousal, SSI, VA, and RRB. What is going on with these right now with all of the huge changes we've seen as of recently and all the uncertainty that is out there right now? This is a question and a concern that I've received so many times down below in the comments section recently in other videos, as well as in live streams. I've seen this showing up in the chat box there as well, which makes me wonder about how much uncertainty there really is out there and how many of us are very, very, very concerned about our monthly benefits. Well, that is what I'm going to focus on for you here in the video and let you know where we're currently at with this right now, as well as what this means with everything going on. Again, there's so many moving parts. You've heard me talking about it recently in other videos, in the live streams I've been hosting. There's just a lot going on. This year has been very, very weird. I think we can all completely recognize that. And I think a lot of us living on fixed income or a low income benefit are probably wondering the exact same thing. What does today bring? What does tomorrow bring? What does this week bring? What does next week bring? What does this month bring? It's very, very uncertain, which again, as a low-income, fixed-income beneficiary receiving any of the benefits I mentioned earlier, we certainly don't want uncertainty, right? That is like the last thing anybody in this community wants right now. We want the certainty and the reassurance that our benefits will continue to arrive day after day, week after week, month after month, whatever it happens to be. When we get our monthly benefits every single month, we want that assurance that, hey, they will be there for us and no disruption whatsoever, right? Well, that's unfortunately not exactly the situation that we're living through right now, because there's just so much going on and all of these massive changes that come in. It's like, at what point are we going to see a massive disruption if that happens in the first place? Again, all of that is still up for debate right now, but wow, what a weird time. But anyway, let me answer this question for you, okay? So I've seen this out there, and again, it really makes me wonder, but at the same time, I don't blame anybody for wondering these questions, but it does make me think that there's probably a lot more people out there that are very, very uncertain right now, just with everything that's going on. And again, the massive changes with the overall landscape that we've seen this year, okay? But anyway, the question that I've been receiving, and again, it's worded in a variety of ways. It's asked, a bunch of different ways here, but essentially it's asking the same thing. Hey, if my bank fails, if my bank goes under, if the economy collapses, things like this, are you seeing any collapses or any shutdowns or bankruptcies or anything like that in the banking sector? And again, it's all kind of asked in a variety of ways, like, what does this mean with banks and the economy and Social Security and all of these different things? What does this mean for my bank deposits? In other words, my monthly check amount going into my bank accounts, okay? Let's talk about that for a second. And again, however you want to ask that question regarding your monthly benefit and your bank account or wherever you get your monthly benefit, again, it's just however you want to phrase that. That's kind of what I'm referring to here, okay? Now, here's what it comes down to. As of right now, it looks like we're kind of fine. Economically, here's the thing. You've heard me talk about this many times before. The economy is certainly showing some massive cracks in it, okay? It's not like a much longer until we see it's like a big chunk of ice, right? On like one of the Great Lakes or something. You hear about this sometimes where all of a sudden, in the spring, things are thawing a little bit, whatever, and all of a sudden, like this huge chunk of ice breaks off from the main, chunk of ice, and it's out there floating around like a big bog floating around out in the big main lake, right? Kind of the situation there. That's how the economy is. It's all kind of connected, but we're not that far off from a major, major crack coming in and basically separating this thing, which we're basically already there. It's just a matter of getting that separation, okay? It's not the best analogy, but you kind of get my point behind that. But anyway, the situation is, right now, the banking sector looks fine right now, okay? But here's the situation. We've got some major things that are happening economically that are probably going to crash and burn the banking sector when the economy really goes down in a ball of flames, which it will eventually at some point. And again, that's not me sitting here saying, oh, I hope that we get this massive, economic situation. I'm going to be real with you. It would certainly fix a lot of things. I've made that very clear before in other videos. The whole situation we've been dealing with for years with inflation and the cost of living going up and high interest rates and all of that, that would certainly be fixed in a real fast hurry if we go into a major recession, which I still believe we will do that. And this year is probably going to be the year. Is that confirmed? Not as of right now, but I would not be shocked one bit if this is the year that we do actually see that happen. We've been waiting for it, and we have the catalysts in place to get us that exact result. Anyway, So here's the situation. And again, people are very worried about their benefits being deposited into bank accounts. And again, just their benefits in general, basically just arriving number one, okay? So there's a lot of different issues here that I'm trying to kind of hammer out kind of all at the same time. But number one is, here's the thing. When it comes down to our banks, there's a lot of banks out there, thousands and thousands of different bank options across the country, okay? For the most part, they look fine at the moment. In other words, we're kind of good when it comes down to our benefits being deposited, things like that. However, when we get into an economic recession, an economic contraction, an economic situation, will there be bank failures? 100%. There's going to be bank failures. There is every single time with a recession. Now, here's the situation, though. We saw this back in early, 2024? I think it was 2024, or was it 2023? Either way, you remember the situation. A couple years ago, maybe it was a year and a half ago, something like that, whenever it was, we did see some pretty big bank failures. Silicon Valley Bank, right? Silicon Valley, I said Valley, sorry. Silicon Valley Bank, that one failed, big there. It failed, but then they came in and they basically rescued it. And then we saw, I think it was First Republic was another one, and there was Signature Bank. There were some few big banks that failed all in pretty quick succession, okay? But what happened is that the big banks, okay, I'm just going to throw some random names out there just so we can all think of them, but like the Bank of Americas, the Chase, the JP Morgan Chase, right? These big, huge, massive banks that are out there, they come in and they typically buy up these failing banks, okay? That happens all the time. Point is, if we get into the situation where we see these massive bank failures, is that going to disrupt our payments? It absolutely could. But for the most part, we will continue to get those payments rolling in like we always do, even though it sounds like, are you sure about that? It doesn't really seem like, and considering what's going on, it doesn't really feel like we're going to continue to get paid. We will. However, there's other protections in place as well. I've talked about this before in other videos, and you know about this. It's FDIC, right? FDIC insurance, which basically covers deposits up to $250,000 per deposit account, okay? So unless you're sitting on more than $250,000 in one account, you should be good there, provided your bank does have FDIC insurance. Now, how do you know? They usually have it plastered everywhere. It's stuck on the door when you walk in. There's usually a plaque that's sitting on the counter when you go to the teller. If you go to the drive-thru, it's usually like, somewhere posted there. On their website, it should be everywhere. It should be very well known that they are FDIC insured. If they're not, well, I would say you're probably banking at the wrong place, okay? I'm just saying, if they don't have some kind of protection in place to protect their depositors, I don't know about that. I wouldn't feel very good about that at all, but that is pretty standard with pretty much all banking institutions. And when it comes down to federal unions and places like that, they have something called NCUA, which is basically the same protections, kind of the same thing as FDIC, but it's geared toward like credit unions and places like that, okay? So that's kind of like our first line of defense is is basically that insurance in place. But then the next would be these bigger banks coming in and buying up these smaller failing banks in the event that this were to happen, okay? So there's a couple different outs that we do have here, okay? So I really wouldn't worry about that much. I would say if we're going to worry about anything right now, I'm saying this much. I wouldn't worry about it, but possibly, maybe with everything that's going on with Doge and all these other changes within Social Security, I'd say maybe a disruption to payments would probably be more likely than any kind of disruption from your actual bank, if that actually makes sense, right? I wouldn't worry about your regional bank, your small bank, your neighborhood bank, whatever, or your big branch bank, whatever it happens to be. I honestly would not worry about that. That'd be like the least of my concerns right now, okay? But if we get into a huge economic recession, huge major economic contraction, which honestly, I would not be shocked one bit if we see that this year. Wouldn't be shocked a bit. If we do, then we might have to revisit this topic again at that point. But right now, it looks like all is fine. But there's certainly some issues out there within banking for sure. A lot of it, honestly, this is beyond the scope of what we talk about here on the channel, but I'll just mention this really quickly. A lot of these banks are absorbing massive losses right now from commercial real estate that they've lended on, and they're basically taking those properties back, and they're taking huge losses. So some of these smaller regional banks could get whacked pretty good, because of investments they've made, or loans, I should say, that they've made on commercial real estate years ago when interest rates were significantly lower. Okay, so let's not talk about that here. Honestly, that's beyond the scope of what I generally talk about here. Let's not worry about that right now. But I'm saying is that could be another catalyst that comes in and really offsets some of these smaller banks out there. The big banks, they have the bandwidth, they have the money. I mean, these trillion-dollar companies, they're kind of good, you know? These huge banks, they're good. It's the smaller regional banks, the ones that are potentially at risk there. Okay, but again, we don't have to talk about that now. That's not really something I cover here on the channel. But just want to throw that as a quick little talking point, okay? So anyway, yes, I totally get it. It's a very uncertain time. I think a lot of us right now are just on pins and needles wondering, like, what's the rest of this day going to bring? What's tomorrow going to bring? What's this month and everything like that going to bring? Hey, I'm totally right there with you. I'm watching everything very closely. But that's what we have right now, okay? Let's revisit this at some point. If we see some major economic contraction coming in and we see, you know, a recession hitting and things are, you know, starting to transpire very quickly, let's come back and revisit this. But as of right now, if you're somebody that does get your benefit into a bank account, again, checking account, savings account, whatever it happens to be, for the most part, I would say you're probably pretty good right now, okay? Now, again, I don't know everything about every single bank that's out there. There's so many different banks, but, you know, a couple years ago, actually it wasn't even a couple years ago, it was like, what, 6-8 months ago, maybe 10 months ago, within the last year or so, I've seen some pretty profound people out there who are very well known, you know, you could probably say like experts in the field, that basically have come out and suggested, hey, we could see like thousands and thousands of bank failures with the next economic contraction. So I'm just saying, let's just be on our toes here and see what happens. But it's kind of where we're at right now, okay? But long story short here, you're good. When it comes down to your monthly benefit, I've said this so many times recently, and again, I don't mind doing this. Again, I'm glad to sit here and be able to say, right now, we're still good. With our monthly benefits, we're fine. Nothing should be disrupting them as of right now, okay? But could that change? 100% for sure, okay? All I'm saying is just like at the moment, today, this week, looks like we're probably okay. Okay, and again, I'm not like acting like this is some big joke. I'm just simply saying it's like so weird right now that it's very uncertain. That's the thing. I've said that so many times right now. I didn't realize that I have to say the word uncertainty or uncertain as much as I have been recently. I did not foresee this coming, you know, a few months ago when we rolled over to 2025 and here we are. I did not think it was going to get to be like this, but here we are, and this is what we're working with. So we kind of got to deal with the cards that we've been dealt, play our best hand, and do what we can here. And again, I will be here for you, by your side every single day, watching the details, advocating, representing for you, anything I possibly can. I know it's weird out there, okay? So any of you that have been asking this and wondering, hey, are we still getting our deposits? Are we still going to get our money from Social Security deposited in our bank accounts? As of right now, no change right now, okay? Stay tuned. I will keep you posted as we get more information on anything right now. I know it's very odd. I know it's very scary. Can I say that word? Right? I get it. I totally understand this. I'm watching it just as much as you are. I want to know the details just like you. I'm doing the research every single day and bringing it to you in these short videos and in the live streams, which is why I've been on a lot more live streams this year. Is just because I get it. We want to know. We want that person here with us live to be like, hey, like, can you talk through us? Can you talk through all this with us? Can you answer the questions? What can we do about this? Okay. Anyway, I'll catch you again on another video or another live stream very soon here. Otherwise, you see that phone number there hanging out on your screen? If you've got any questions in regards to Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplements, Medigap Plans, Medicare Part D, initial enrollment into Medicare, that phone number will connect you with a dedicated Medicare team, absolute experts in the field. They're saving the average senior $1,100 by working with them. That's the average, by the way. I just want to make it very clear. Just because that's the average does not automatically mean it's going to be the savings for you individually. It could be more, could be less. I'm saying that's just the average that they're saving the average senior right now is $1,100. Anyway, if you have any questions about that, if you want to change your plan, get into a plan, whatever it happens to be, they will help you. It is 100% for free. By the way, the theme here on the channel is 100% for free. The videos are free, the live streams are free, commenting is free, sharing the video is free, subscribing is free. Everything is free, okay? And again, connecting with them is 100% for free. It's my partners over at Chapter. We partner with them to help you guys through the Medicare. It's absolutely nuts how confusing it is. It should not be that confusing, but it is. And again, we've got to deal with what we've been dealt here, and that's the situation with Medicare. Anyway, if you have any questions about it, feel free to call them. They're waiting on standby to talk to you. The phone number's there on your screen. Take a screenshot, take a picture, whatever you got to do. Write the phone number down. Give them a call. They will help you, again, 100% for free to find you the best plan for your situation, your personal preferences, your personal needs, best plan, best price, best coverages in your local area, and they'll do it for free. Anyway, please have a nice day. Thank you so much. Also, please share the video. If you can think of a few people, 1, 2, 3 people that you can think of, friends, family members, neighbors, acquaintances, siblings that would benefit from this video or anything here, even the Medicare information, please feel free to share this with them. Again, it's 100% free to do so. There's a big share button right down below the video. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Otherwise, please subscribe as well. It is 100% free. Big subscribe button down below. Check out the other thousands of videos here on the channel in the video library. The popular videos I've hand selected for you down below in the description of the video, as well as popping up on your screen now. You'll see some videos there. Check those out. Otherwise, again, thank you so much for allowing me to represent and advocate for you. Thank you once again for your continued trust in me, the videos, the content, everything I'm delivering to you every single day. I truly do appreciate it. Have a good one, and I hope I can see you again soon. Stay tuned. I'll keep you posted.